Do that. I'm recording.
Recording, Sean. We're live.
Oh, buddy.
You see it?
Nope. I see me, you, and Sean. And this is the show, episode 3, live. And we're having trouble with our intro. I was working on it. We got Sean, the Colts, and I'm pointing down because he's down on my screen, but he may be left on your screen, so I don't know.
All right, now we're doing it.
Now we're doing it.
How about now?
There it is.
Oh, yeah, let's roll.
Can't hear anything. Can't hear anything, Al.
Nothing I can do now.
You got to remember to do that sound thing every time, Al. Dun, 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 dun. All right, you might as well just cut it out. All right, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is the 3rd episode. We're talking AFC today. We got your boy Sean, the Colts, live with us tonight. Give the people a shout out, Sean.
What's going on, League? Hello, fellas. Thanks for having me tonight.
Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here and to be a part of this show. You're our second guest, so I definitely do appreciate it. As you can see, Ryan's drinking. What are you drinking there, Ryan?
I'm drinking some 3 Floyd Zombie Dust for you guys, around that area. You know what you're talking about. Sean knows.
What you got, Sean?
What are you drinking tonight?
I got a tribute to Mr. Tampa Bay. We're going to drink some Spotted Cow in his honor.
Spotted Cow for the Bucks. There we go.
And a little bit of straight vodka for you.
So this show today is about the AFC, and we got, again, we got the Colts in here. So we're going to talk about AFC, and basically what we're going to do is rank these teams in the league in the AFC. We're going to go division by division and kind of rank these teams based on position groups for this year. So, we're going to break it down by quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and all the defensive positions. And Al and I have prepared our rankings, and we brought Sean in here kind of, he can either agree or disagree or let us know how he feels. So, Sean, Al, while you pull up the spreadsheet, Sean, what do you think about the league? Are you excited about the league? I think you're new to some of these. What do you think so far about like the league, and what are you looking forward to?
I was kind of overwhelmed in the beginning. I didn't know what to think about any of this. Once you got rolling, it was like doing homework, and then you're hook, line, and sinkered, and you're really trying to finagle things that you really don't normally think about in a regular league.
Yeah.
So it's been challenging, but I'm really excited. I think the AFC South is going to be a division to watch.
Okay.
Starting with the Colts and the Jags.
All right.
I think it's a lot harder than what people think. They don't get it, I don't think.
There's a lot going on. First of all, 32 teams is crazy, right? And then the whole IDP aspect. But really what gets you is when you throw in the salary, right? When you start worrying about, man, I got these salaries, what I'm signing people, the franchise tag, the extension, all that stuff. If you haven't done these, which, Al and I are new too, so we're kind of learning with you. But if you haven't done these, they're complex.
It is. And when you drafted your team and you're looking at extensions going into next year, you're sitting here like an actuary at your desk going, what numbers are you going to throw? Because
100%.
You're really not sure. And then you're looking at your guys and you have 2 situations that you're like, well, do you give them the extra money?
Yeah.
Do you let them go and take a hit? Definitely more interesting than I would have thought early on.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing, man. I'm telling you, the AFC South, we talk about that. You've got a good squad. You've got that running game going. You've got Stafford at quarterback. You've got a good squad. So one to watch in that division and the AFC as well. So we are super happy to have you. Let us know. I'm gonna tell everybody this is live, like we say every time. There's no pre-recording. There's no editing. We just do what we do. So let us know what you think. You haven't seen this spreadsheet, this presentation yet. So this is Al and I's ranking. So we'll start running through those. And if you agree, let us know. If you totally disagree, let us know. And, feel free to take some shots at your division rivals. And, I know your buddy he's in the NFC. We'll talk about him next week, but, feel free to take some shots. And, Bucks, if you're listening, you gotta have to call in to rebuttal here. So your buddy Colts here is gonna throw some shade and some shots at you. So we're gonna start off with the AFC East. Now, I'm in the AFC East. I feel only fitting that we go first here. So here's how we're gonna do things. So Al and I have put this spreadsheet together with both of our picks. And basically, if you look, we did some math here. Basically, what we did is we lined up the division 1 through 4. So we ranked the division running backs, all the position groups, and then we throw in an average at the end. And we said, all right, well, here's the average of those position groups. And based on that average is how we see the division unfolding. So obviously, the lower the average, the better the team, the higher the average, the worse the team. So this first division, my picks, we look at the average at the end. The way I see this division going is Jets, Dolphins, Bills, Pats. So breaking down each one of the position groups, I have the Pats, at number 1 in the division on quarterback with Dak Prescott. And it kind of falls in line there. And really this for me is, it's about this season. I mean, we are in a dynasty league, but we're talking about winning this year. So for this year, I've got the Pats number 1, Jets and Dolphins follow, and the Bills at 4. Now the Bills it's an interesting case because they've got Deshaun Watson. So Deshaun Watson to me, and Al and Sean, you feel free. I'm not going to talk about every group, but this is kind of one of those ones that's, kind of crazy here. I had him at number 4 because I'm not really sure if he's going to play or not. I see, Al, your ranking is also, you had the Bills at number 4. Is that just because of the uncertainty here with Deshaun Watson? I mean, obviously, if he plays, he's probably, at least number 2, probably number 1 in the division.
Actually, I would put him at number 1 if he plays, just due to the fact that with Dak coming back with all the injuries and all that, and still coming back with the MRI this week, you hear, and all that. So I would definitely have put him at a number 1. But with that whole uncertainty of what's going on in Houston and all that, I can't put him at number 1 or anywhere other than that. But I mean,
Sean?
It's a dumpster fire in Houston.
Dude.
I mean, Deshaun Watson, I do not think is a Houston Texan week 1.
Yeah, I agree. You think he gets traded, or you think he's
I think he gets moved.
Okay.
I don't know where he goes. I think you get a veteran quarterback in the league that goes down, and someone's going to gamble if he keeps clearing his name. But you don't know. I mean, I think it's a high risk.
Too many cases here.
Guy.
Yeah, and there's too many cases coming out. I'm not a legal expert or a lawyer, but 1 or 2 cases, you're like, all right, but it's up to like 22 right now. So for me, if we're looking at odds, and I'm an odds maker, like the odds to me is he's not playing week 1 at Houston. So that's why I had to drop the Bills. That's going to be one of our, this quarterback in the AFC East is going to be one of the things that, you can look at and argue either way. But to me, the reason I ranked him so low was all the questions. Now, going back in, looking at some of these other linebacker groups, wide receiver groups, I have, if you look at the ranking here, I mean, I think on average, it's looking like, I have some bias, but Jets number 1, the Dolphins are pretty much number 2 in most of the other categories, 2 or 3. The Bills are 2 or 3 in some of the others. And then the Pats, I think are clearly rebuilding. It's not a team that's going to be competing this year. They've got a lot of young guys. So it's really, for me, again, they have Dak, who we have as the number one quarterback because of the Deshaun Watson thing. But, it's not a team going to compete in the AFC East this year.
I really love the way the Dolphins has their roster built. I'm a T-Law guy. I think Sunshine is going to be incredible. And in Jacksonville with Urban Meyer, I think he could give the JETS.
Oh, son. I wish I could have some hair to give you the sunshine flip there, but I do. I love the Dolphins roster. I mean, they're very young. They got a young quarterback. They've got some really nice young receivers, and Mooney and Johnson, and then Jacoby Myers and Ayuk and all those guys. So, I mean, I think definitely, that's definitely one to watch here in the future. I mean, he's got Brian Burns. He's got several very nice players. So I think if anyone is a competition for the Jets in this division, it is the Dolphins. 100%.
I mean, I would say his weakest position, in my opinion, would be the running backs.
Yeah.
I mean, you got James Robinson, but how much is the handcuff of ETN really going to be? And
or even just Carlos Hyde being down there too.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah. Whew.
So yeah, I mean, but again, it's you never know with injuries and how things figure out in all the fantasy seasons. I think again the Jets, by both of our numbers, are the clear leaders in this division. But I think both of us agree that the Dolphins are probably the second best team and one that could challenge them. The Bills, if Watson plays and you change our numbers of the QB rankings and bump them up to 1, I think that changes a lot of things. So, but I think due to the uncertainty, you can't say they will. So, to me, and it looks like to Al, it looks like it's going to be Jets, Dolphins, Bills, Pats for the AFC East. Everybody in agreement there, Sean?
I would say I agree.
All right. So our next division here is Al.
I'm trying. Hold on.
Drink break, Sean. Oh, we got the AFC North. The AFC Norris. So this division to me
is a dumpster fire.
So we have several divisions here where, there's a couple divisions where there are clear winners and clear, teams that are, that are superior than the others. This one right here, if you look at the numbers, especially my numbers, Al's are a little farther and has the Ravens pretty far ahead. But, this one is one that seems like there's not really a standout team. I mean, I think, it looks like there are several competitive teams if you look at these averages, but it doesn't look like anyone's really that far ahead to me. Now, Al, you gave the Ravens, they've got an average of 1.83. So they have a lot of ones on your board. You see the Ravens winning this division?
Yeah, I can see them winning the division. I mean, if you move a couple of the numbers, I mean, we pretty much, you and I go chalk with each other and all that. Right. But I mean, it's not really one that would make a significant change where another team goes up or anything like that. But right. I mean, when you look at the division and you look at the teams and you look at, I mean, for all we know, things could change and the Browns can have a great season and injuries could be their friend and all that, meaning everybody in their divisions could be getting a little dinged up and they can easily move up without a doubt.
I'm going to tell you one thing about the Ravens is they better win this year. I mean, they've got Aaron Rodgers, right, as quarterback, which who knows what's going to happen there. Their running game, they've got McKissick and Gordon, both 2021 UFAs. So they're going to be able to franchise tag someone, but if they don't franchise tag one of those running backs, they're both gone. They have some young wide receiver talent, but they got a lot of 2021. So, this may be, there's similar situations around the league where, these teams better win or, win now or win this year, or they're going to have trouble. I think both of us consensus say that the Bengals are number 2 in the division. And I think both of us have said, hey, if the Bengals had a better quarterback situation, they've got Teddy Bridgewater and Trey Lance, which all reports are that Trey Lance is killing it. So, we may have been a little harsh here with the 4 ranking, and he's got two starting possibilities, assuming Bridgewater wins the job in Denver. But he's got a good team there. I mean, he's got a running back, he's got Mixon and Moss, he's got some good wide receivers. I mean, he's all around, pretty solid. So, I definitely think, where we both have the Ravens winning the division, I think the Bengals are a close second. And if Lance, turns out to be the real deal based on the preseason, I mean, I think they can challenge the Ravens here for the number 1 spot in the North. So, Sean.
100%. I agree. That's what kind of kills them in this ranking between the two of us and all that is that quarterback position. I mean, I'm not saying with the Jets or Jacksonville or anything like that because they drafted quarterbacks knowing that they're going to be starting and all that. But, I mean, for all we know, the Bengals could actually be winning this division at the midway part because Trey Lance is starting.
Yeah, and I mean – and the same thing, I mean, again, the Steelers, the same way. I mean, the Steelers, if they could trade for a running back, I mean, they have ETN, they drafted ETN, but other than that, they have nobody there to help out. So, I mean, you improve that running back there, that running back slot, we have them at dead last in the division. You improve that and they could be a force too. So, Sean, what are you thinking on this division here?
I mean, the owner of the Bengals is Burkhart. The man can't even draft a baseball team, let alone having a football team here.
Man,
I mean, he's got to go local with AJ Green at $13.5 million.
That's a lot of money.
I mean, no offense, Ryan, but I think he had too many spotted cows there because he was really getting it. I mean, his running back core is very good. Yeah. I mean, hopefully. Excuse me. He catches lightning in a bottle with Zach Moss again. And I mean, I think the best wide receiver that I'm really expecting big things on, I'm high on Gandy Golden. Hit out of Tulsa last year. I think he becomes a very good target for Fitzmagic in Washington. And I think you watch out. And I think maybe Burkhart gets a win. And if he does, he's buying us all beers.
Hey, I'm for that. Go Burkhart.
Go Burkhart.
I mean, otherwise, I think it's pretty even. I mean, I would debate with you a little bit on the quarterback situation, Rodgers, Wilson, but that's like throwing tax. Which day you're going to get?
So I mean, the reason I did that is just the Wilson or the Rodgers uncertainty. There's just so many, some. Little bit of uncertainty. Is he playing? Is he getting traded? Is he whatever? That put me ahead for Wilson. And Wilson still gets those scramble yards, those scramble points. I mean, I still believe he ran for 500 yards last year. He's finished top 10. I think I heard a stat. He's finished top 10 quarterbacks in the last 8 years. So
he's unbelievable. But
consistency, consistency.
Yeah, now I'll say this, and we're killing Burkhart for this and everything, and we brought up Moss. But in our previous show, we were killing him for trading Ridley to you for Moss. And that kind of just, I mean, looking at this thing, we both have him still at number 1 at wide receiver and at tight end. And this helped him out with his running back for the division at being number 1, getting Moss. So, I mean, it might actually work out for him. We don't know. At least for this year.
I mean, it's a depth move. I mean, the dude still has Paris Campbell, like Hollywood Brown, AJ Green, Aguilar. I mean, it's a solid group.
Hey, Ryan, look at my hat. What's that say? Colts? Campbell can't stay healthy to save his life.
He
so you don't know what you're going to get there. He'll probably get a hangnail week 1.
It's true, but it's all about, I mean, the dude's got so much potential. Like
he does.
Together, it's like, oh my gosh. I mean, I think for me this year, I think the Ravens win the division with the Bengals close second. The Browns we have last year. The Browns, have drafted they've got a bunch of solid young guys. So I don't think this year is going to be the year for them, but I think in the future, they've got a lot of rookies. They've got a lot of young guys. They spent a lot of, they drafted, Gainwell. They've got Parsons. They've got a lot of young pieces. Monty Rice. They got, they've got guys that here in the future, we may be bumping them up a notch, but for this year, they're just probably too young. I mean, I think the Ravens, the Bengals are going to go 1-2, then the Steelers and the Browns. So that's how the division runs for me. I think the Ravens and Bengals could be interchangeable. I mean, like Sean said, I mean, the Bengals could make a run. It's very, very close, right? So to me, this is one of those divisions, like there's a few divisions, like I said, in the AFC that it's like, like you said, the AFC East. I mean, I think we know, or everybody knows, unless something catastrophic happens, that the Jets are probably going to win that division. And I'm not saying that as a cocky ass, but I am a cocky ass. I'm just saying, looking at it, and anything can happen in fantasy, but this is one of those divisions where, there's not a unanimous, everyone can think, preseason, this is all speculation, preseason, that someone else will win. So this was one very, very tight. I think there's a lot of good teams, and we'll see what happens. But to me, it's Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns. So we got the AFC South.
I'm showing you this.
Sean.
Hey.
Sean.
Wow. I'm leaving the arena.
Sean.
I mean, are you hanging out with the Raiders in Vegas?
No.
He threw me under the bus during his reviews. This is a rough crowd.
We're doing it to your face.
Sean, let's walk. Like, you want to walk us through this division? I mean, so to me, like, I'll give you my overview, and then I'll let you, you're probably most familiar with this division, being in division. To me, I mean, it's the Titans. The Titans are the best team in the division for me. I mean, it's pretty clear. I mean, the dude has Tannehill and Eckler and Carson and Higgins, and I mean, he's pretty top to bottom a loaded team. Me and to Al the same way. I mean, I think we were unanimous. This is one of the divisions we were unanimous. We see Colts, Titans, Jags, Texans. I mean, we were unanimous on the Titans winning. We were unanimous on the Texans the Colts getting second, and then Jags, Texans. Now, I'm not saying we don't like your team, Sean, because I do.
No.
That running game. I mean, you got Stafford, who to us was the number 2 quarterback. You got the number 2 ranking on this. Second only to the Jags. I like Herbert a lot. I think Herbert's a monster. So, he's the the number 1 quarterback here. You got second here with Gaskin and Barkley on the running back rankings. Now, if I had full confirmation that Barkley was 100%, I would change that to a 1. I've seen it. Barkley last year, he came in, got hurt again. If I knew for a 100% fact that dude was fine, Sean, you'd have the number 1 ranking right there. I know Eckler has some health issues. He's kind of a little guy, but Carson is just so consistent. I mean, that dude puts it out every single time he's on the field. The Miami backfield, it seemed like, I don't know if Gaskin is that good with 1 year or if it's just whoever's in the system, because, when Ahmed came in there, he ran just as well. So those questions for me is kind of what puts you there, at the 2 position of all these, rankings. But, if those dudes, if Barkley comes out and he's Saquon Barkley like he was his rookie year, that's very easily a 1. If Gaskin comes out again this year and just kills it, it's a 1. I mean, if Pittman, if Odell Beckham comes back from being hurt, if Odell Beckham comes back 100%, maybe that number 2 position in the wide receiver, maybe that number 2 rankings is a number 1. You have a solid squad, and I think again, I see you second in the South. Now, we're going to do a prediction show here in 2 weeks who we think makes the playoffs. But to me, I think you're making the playoffs. I mean, that's where I'm at. You're at number 2 in the division. but that's not a knock because I think the Titans team is one of the top-notch teams in the whole AFC.
I'd have to say thank you, first of all. It was a rough draft boardroom, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of stress. A lot of GMs at pick 9 were blowing up the Colts phone. And a given guy is going to say one thing. I'm a Giants fan. So
the G-Man.
I am so excited to have Saquon Barkley come home. Now he'll probably everything I read, the Colts are very excited right now. We're ready to go. Stafford looked good at the Hall of Fame for Megatron. I mean, he's looking great with Sean McVay. I mean, we're excited. We're young. We're the defense is a little weak. I will admit it.
I'm gonna go ahead and say one thing. We both dogged you, both of us, Al and myself, dogged you for the Surtain pick, right? We dogged you on that. However, he did have a pick 6 today.
He looked good today. I mean, I like the pressure, but you know what? Patty S is going to be the franchise of my defense.
Yeah.
And my God, we're happy to have him in Indianapolis.
So I'm not fully apologizing for saying, what I said last week. I'm not fully apologizing. I am going to say, all right, maybe give you a little of the olive branch, like a little bit, not the whole olive branch, like a leaf or something, because
I'm good with the leaf, but I thought it was pretty funny. I was getting dogged pretty hard for taking a corner, but I got 2 of the best 2 in the NFL draft last year. I'll take Horn and Surtain, and we'll see what happens.
Hey, I mean, and the thing is, it's like, there's if you can get those guys, and I've talked to Al and then, Jonathan, our buddy in the Falcons for years, if you can get some of these guys that are truly difference makers, it's positions where there's not true difference makers, then it's like, it's just like the Waller and the Kelsey thing. If you can get a true difference maker at tight end, I mean, that is a huge positional advantage. So if these 2 young guys turn out to be studs in the cornerback position, I mean, that may give you a huge positional advantage at cornerback and on your defense. I mean, it's just maybe what it is. I mean, like I said, dude was a playmaker today. It is preseason. And again, I'm not giving you the whole olive branch. I'll give you a leaf. At the end of the season, we'll have a wrap-up show and we can all talk about how wrong Ryan was on all of his on all of his calls, whatever else. But today he looked solid. So if you're able to get that type of production in the year, I mean, that's going to be a huge advantage for you. So
I mean, I feel that out of the secondary, I'm not going to toot the Indianapolis Colts GM's horn, but I think it should be Colts secondary 1, Titans number 2. No offense. I mean, I'm young. It's going to be an exciting defense to watch. My safeties are, I mean, I got Jesse Bates, who's an
You've got 2. Here's the
guy.
thing. Here's the thing where I think I dinged you on all these things, and I've told you this. You got to get more safe. You got to make some trades, man. You got 2 safeties and 3 running backs. You have no depth.
One thing you're going to learn about the Colts general manager is he's a very slow mover. we don't make no knee-jerk reactions like the New York Football Jets. We're very plotted, and they'll do trades, but it'll be when we need to make them.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I think of all the divisions in the AFC, this one may be the most exciting for me because I cannot wait to see the Colts, the Titans, and the Jags playing each other 2 times, 2 times each. So I
mean, you look at it right now, you're optimistic you can go 6-0, but I think anybody in the division, you're going to go 3-3. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's going to be a bloodbath. I think it depends on injuries. I think it is a tough division, but I think
this is going to be it. This is going to be that tough division where it's going to come down to injuries. It's going to be a battle of attrition in this division.
I agree, but I also feel that the AFC will have 2 in the playoffs. One will be a wild card and one will have a division winner. Because I think it's going to be a rough division.
I 100% agree. I mean, honestly, like I told you, I said, I'm not. I think you make. In my rankings here. I mean, I have you second in this division. I really do think this will be. one of the divisions with 2+ teams in the division. I mean, it's a solid division. The Jags have a solid team. You have a solid team. The Titans are a solid team. I can't wait. This is one of the most exciting divisions to me because, the Texans are in a little rebuilding stage, but these top 3 teams are all 3 solid. And I think, you put any one of these top 3 teams in the AFC North and they win it. I mean, I think put this Colts team's in the AFC North, they win it. You put the Jags team in there, they're the favorite. I mean, it just is what it is. It's a solid division top to bottom. Again, the Texans are in a little bit of a rebuild. They've got, a lot of young players. They've got Dalvin still, but and Dalvin's he's carried teams since he was in college. I mean, I'm a big Knoll fan. He carried those Knolls to 8 wins, 9 wins. He's carried the Vikings. I mean, the dude's amazing. But other than that, I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot. And the 3 teams ahead of him are all strong. So,
Yeah, just a little side note about the Texans and all that. This is the Texan team that did the inaugural draft, and then the owner did bow out.
correct.
And we did have another owner come in and take over an orphan team.
So that's not, yeah.
So I mean, he's trying to build it the way he needs to build it.
But
and
he's got a tough roll of the dice here because he's in a tough division. I mean, he's 3 solid teams above him.
Well, this goes back to the whole Garoppolo trade where he came in and says somebody traded a number 1 for Garoppolo.
Yeah. Well, either way, I mean, Al, you see the division. I think we're pretty close on everything here. So, I mean, any thoughts from you on this division? I mean, I think Sean and I have kind of, Sean, I agree. I think Sean will put the Colts above it. But I'm excited to see the Texans, the Colts, the Titans, the Colts, and the Jags battle it out here because I think it's going to be a war of attrition in this league, in this division.
I don't have much to say about this one. You guys said quite a bit. Pretty much, like I said, the top 2 for both of us is pretty much even. The bottom 2 are the same thing. I mean, there's nothing that I can say that is going to be anything different than, like I said, about the new Texan owner. But with the next division, that's we'll go with that one, and that's where I'll say.
All right, who we got next? The AFC West. Yeah. So here we go, buddy. So the AFC West now. Since we made this start here, there have been some changes. I think Lamar was traded to the Broncos. There were a bunch of trades that happened that's kind of changed the landscape. I think we both changed our rankings in the last, week, 2 weeks? I mean, we did this. We started this 2 weeks ago. There were several trades that happened, the Lamar trade. There were several trades in this division recently that changed, our rankings. But if you look at our rankings, the averages are different, the numbers are different, but we all agree on the hierarchy here. So both of us have the Broncos first, the Raiders second, the Chargers third, and then the Chiefs fourth.
Yep.
So Al, this is your division here. So walk us through it.
All right. We'll start off with the Lamar trade. I mean, the strong get stronger. I mean, his trade to get that. I mean, I understand with Wentz being hurt and he was looking for a quarterback and needing somebody to step in. And with the Falcons having a fire sale and all that, it was
restructuring.
Yeah, restructuring. I'm sorry, restructuring. Okay.
I think he was scared of ants.
Fire sale.
Yeah, fire sale.
He's restructuring. He was probably neck and neck with Ant, and he didn't want to lose the Ant, so he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna restructure. So when I lose to Ant,
he's got an excuse.
It's because I meant to.
Okay. So anyway, I mean, before even the rookie draft, he made a bunch of nice trades. He had 3 picks in a row in the top 10, 7, 8, and 9. He took one of them, Jamar Chase, and that's how we got pretty much Jackson. So, I mean, that was really strong and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, from inaugural
Devontae Smith and Javonte Williams.
Williams, yeah. So I mean, from top to bottom, from the beginning of inaugural to where we are now, I mean, the man's only made decisive.
He's made the right moves.
Yes, without a doubt, 100%.
You know, Sean, you know, like you're making fun of me making all these trades. And you could say Sean's telling me it's shotgun approach. Like if you're saying the Jets are shotgun approach, Broncos have been a sniper.
Oh, it's been incredible to see. And looking at his roster, he's going to have some salary cap issues in the next couple of years.
Right.
And he's going to have to make some moves because he's guaranteeing some money to some QBs. He's got some things in place. I mean,
but for this year,
Al's not giving himself enough credit. I like the Chargers roster.
I like the Chargers too.
I think what he's got is a solid blue-collar team that's going to go out and make some waves.
Yeah. He's got, and I think to me, the big question there, and I'm a big Jameis guy. So I think to me, the question is that if Jameis calms out and, Sean Payton kind of, if he's able to correct some of those things, I'm a big Jameis guy. I would say it again. Bruce Arians' system is tough. Every quarterback who goes in there has struggles. Brady at first struggled. So if he's able to come in there in a Sean Payton system and tear it up, I definitely think, the Chargers can make some noise. We have the Raiders second. Al's ranked them a little bit higher than I have. We both have them ranked second, but he's got them up there in some of the positional groups. And then Blaine, sorry, man. I mean, I've dogged you every time we've talked about the Chiefs. We talked about your draft. We talked about your trades, and now I'm dogging your team on the rankings. But this is another division where I think it'll be close, man. And Sean, go ahead. The Raiders, man, our commissioner.
I mean, he's interesting. He's got some interesting things going.
Yeah.
I mean, excuse me. He was one of those guys early on that went and signed a bunch of free agents.
Yeah.
And he kind of set the tone to the newer owners, in my opinion, because guys like me, you don't have a damn clue what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you watch a guy like him go get 48 players, and then he's got them on the clearance depot rack.
Well, he still has 58 total. He still has 58 guys.
I mean, he's really been aggressive. I think that, I mean, I got to crack a joke. I mean, his head coach is garbage. That ain't going to win him nothing. I mean, and you're giving him $1.6 million. I mean, he's got some things there. I mean, you hope Baker is Baker. Right. I mean, the running backs, I mean, he's got my boy JT. I mean, he's going
to struggle this year, though, with Wentz out and the whole line. Like, their line's getting hurt.
I think you see Carson Wentz week 1 in Indianapolis.
All right. So that'll help JT out.
And I think JT, Marlon Mack, I don't think Tom Taylor is going to be handcuffed as much as he was last year. Okay. But I do believe in the third down, second down situations, you're going to see Wilkins, you're going to see Mack, you're going to see Nadeem Himes. So Taylor's going to be the bell cow at the end zone. He's going to break you 5 to 10 runs a year for over 30 to 50 yards. He's going to be that guy. I mean, I love that pick when he grabbed him. I mean, I was sitting back in the GM bunker quite shaking my head that I would love to have him with Saquon Barkley. But it didn't happen.
Right. So him, in my mind, he made probably the trade of the offseason. I mean, there's been some trades that have gone on, and I tried, trust me, I tried to get this. He got Scary Terry, and I tried to get Scary Terry. I tried. It didn't happen. And he got Scary Terry, and that just kind of solidified that wide receiver unit. So, again, to me, I think it's a very close 2-3 between the Raiders and the Chargers. I have the Raiders 2 and I have the Chargers 3. Al, you have the Raiders 2 and the Chargers 3. I think you were a little bit, to Sean's point, I think you're a little bit harder on yourself than you should be. But again, I have the Raiders and Chargers close. I mean, to me, Raiders are slightly better, but I have the Raiders and Chargers close. To you, there's a little bit bigger gap. You've got yourself closer to the, Chiefs. And you've actually got the Chiefs worse than I've got them. So you really dogging your boy Blaine.
No, not really. I mean,
tell me about that. You ranked this man a 4 on everything, and except for 2, and you gave him a 3 on 2. Tell me why you are so low on the Chiefs.
All right, let's go with the Chiefs. I'm sorry.
And this is Al. Blaine, this is Al. Remember that. This is not your boy.
This guy.
Closer to the Chargers. I do have you last. Or Al almost has you at a perfect 4, dead last ranking.
I'm sorry. For at least this year, for his quarterbacks, I am not a Cam fan, not whatsoever. If you were to tell me that Mac was coming in, going to be the starter right off the bat and all that, without a doubt, I would put him over me.
And I 100% agree there.
Okay, but because Cam's playing, I'm sorry, I'd rather take my dynamic duo over Cam right now.
Now I'm with you, okay? I'm with you there. And I'm with you on the running backs because I also have him 4.
Yeah, because he's got nobody.
No, okay. But when you get to wide receiver, okay?
Yes.
He's got Tyler Boyd, Nico Collins, Eskridge, DeAndre Hopkins. Now that may change. He just made this trade. The rankings haven't been updated since.
Yes.
Colin Johnson, Pascal, Marset Smith, Cedric Wilson. I mean, the man's got kind of a wide receiver core. I had him 2 prior to the Hopkins trade because that Hopkins trade is new.
Actually, Hopkins trade was the other league.
That was the other league. Well, he's got Hopkins in here, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, but he had Hopkins.
He's had him. So anyway, either way. So yeah, I've got him at 2. You've got him at 3. You think he's still 3rd?
Well, just due to the fact of just looking at the team like, okay, Murray's got to step up for his next year. And I don't know if Murray can do it for a full season. I mean, Hopkins is Hopkins. He's an all-pro. He's going to do his job and all that. I mean, he's had Stafford throw to him and not Stafford, whoever, backup quarterbacks and all that, and Watson and all that. But I mean, and then you add Chase and Cincinnati with Boyd. That's the only thing. I think Boyd just gets knocked down with Chase coming in, and then Mixon being healthy possibly. I mean, that's the only reason why.
I mean, I see, again, this is a live show. This is rankings. This is how we rank people. So no, I feel you. So we're going to go to the secondary here because, I'm looking at the Chiefs are one of those teams that both of us, several teams we agreed on. There are several rankings we agreed on. Then there are a couple like this. I've got him at wide receiver 2. You've got him at 3. I've got number 2 on the secondary. You get 4. The man's got, Taylor Rapp, Hooker, Minka Fitzpatrick, Kyle Duggar as safety positions. He's got Patrick Peterson, who this year, probably he'll be fine. I mean, it's not a long term. He's got AJ Boye. He's got some corners too. I mean,
Boye is suspended for the first 2 games. He's old. And then you got Jace Horn going to be there. So I'll give Sean some love with the horn thing. So I mean, yes, is he good at safety? 100%. But if we're going to put it with the corners, yeah.
Sean, what do you think about this division?
I mean, the Broncos team is very well put together.
Agreed.
We can't kick that. It's no AFC South. I mean, there is a huge discrepancy in these 4 teams. I mean, Al, huge shout out. I mean, I will say this. I'm not a Cam Newton guy, but I think Cam Newton plays better year 2 in New England than last year. And I think a year under Belichick if he keeps dressing all pretty, I think Cam Newton's going to be okay.
That's what you like, Sean. You like his hats.
I like those sharp dressed fellas.
You like the hat.
Just give me
Sean likes
the
the
beard.
leopard print hat. Sean
Oh,
likes
yeah.
those leopard print hats.
I mean, I wear my capri pants every day.
There you
Baby.
go. I can see it, Sean. I can see it. We're gonna have to. You know what? We may have to do a press conference and see, a Sean Cam Newton dress up here.
I mean, we could handle that. Just let it be like mid-October so I can match my bro Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'll have
There
the
you
big
go.
curly beard.
Big, nice
I'll wear the
beard.
white stylish pants and
Oh,
the
yeah.
flowered shirt,
Get
baby.
you a nice leopard print hat.
But I mean, I like the division. I think the
Yeah.
Raiders, I think he makes about 12 more trades. I
Yeah.
can see him in all seriousness. I kind of have gathered this by just watching. He's going to be a pick collector. And
Yeah.
I think that in a dynasty league like this with some of the younger fellas, I think the head of the league is going to be that guy that you're going to be like, really? He's got
Yeah.
7 draft picks in a row. But
100%.
I could see him being the Bill Belichick of combining and picking up picks, and he could be dangerous.
So to me, Sean, we talked about his players. We talked about the Baker. We talked about all those guys. To me, it's like I see this team as like a boom bust team. Like if these guys come together and they play well and they play up to their potential, I mean, they could challenge the Broncos. If it turns out to be the same old, it's there. They're going to be there with the Chargers battling for second in this division, and the Broncos are going to probably run away with it. But
I mean,
plus for me.
the question of the day, Al, is did you get on the phone with your boy Jameis and teach him how to run through those drills?
Yeah, you better watch out for
You
those
can't go
tackling
through the
dummies,
tackle
man.
dummies.
Those tackle dummies are rough, buddy.
It's all that crab grease.
Hey, man, crab legs. He loves them.
He's got to go get him another set.
Hey, I'm just going to go ahead.
Oh, boy.
Give my Knowles a shout out, my boy here. Osceola. So, but yeah. So, I mean, again, I like this division. I think there's going to be a solid, honestly, I think the Broncos win it. And I think there's going to be a solid race for that number 2 position. To me, the Raiders and the Chargers are closer than, Al, you give yourself credit for. So to me, I see Broncos 1, Raiders 2, Chargers 3, a close third. Chiefs, man. Blaine, I'm sorry, Blaine.
Hey, Blaine, hit me up. GM Colts will talk a deal if you're ready to move.
Hey,
Blaine, dog.
just been posted. The Lions are looking to trading. He's got running backs, a defensive end, and linebackers.
Oh, buddy. I better get on the phone. Detroit, Indy will be calling you shortly.
Hey, and they got defensive ends and linebackers. Indy, that's what you need, boy. You need depth.
I might be out on the phone tonight after this wonderful meeting.
Let's let it ride. So I guess the AFC West is our last division. So before we close out, Sean, how do you see this AFC coming out? I mean, any favorites? You got any, what are your thoughts?
I think you're going to have very tight league. I think the favorite, in my opinion, right now to come out is going to be the Denver Broncos.
All right.
I think that his roster is definitely pretty tough.
Yeah. So give me a top 3. Who you got top 3 in the AFC?
I mean, I don't want to toot anybody's horns, but I mean, I think you gotta throw in. I got a little love for the Jets, just a little. I mean, you're gonna have to prove Ant wrong and get a win or two. But
I've got the name against me. That team name's against me. It's a curse.
I think the Jets are a top 3 team. I mean, I think the top 5 in the AFC. I mean, thinking off the top, I think you go Jets. You throw the Colts in there.
Yep.
You throw the Titans in there.
Titans.
You throw the Broncos in there.
Yep.
And then you've got a bunch of teams that I think fight for 5, 6, 7, 8.
100%.
I think it's going to be the toughest division in our league. I think that the NFC is going to be fun when you do it. I think the fire sailing Jonathan Murray in Atlanta is going to be sitting there just relaxing. But I think moving forward, I think the AFC South is going to be the division of blood, kind of like with the Steelers, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Bengals. And I think it's going to be a fun year to see what happens. I mean, I think your Chargers are going to get some wins. So don't beat yourself too hard.
Yeah. Again, he was harder on himself than I was on.
You were pretty hard on yourself because I would have gave you a little more credit. You've made some nice trades. But I mean, I'm a guy that has been in a lot of leagues, and I'm not a trader. I'm a builder. And you talk to Tampa Bay, he's a wheel and dealer. You're going to deal with the guy in Cincinnati named Burkhardt. He's a wheeler and dealer, and he overpays for old fart AJ Green. You know, you got to throw in some bow and arrows, but I think it's going to be one of those things that you see the integrity and the parity in the league early. I think by week 6, your divisions are going to be pretty blatantly off.
Yes,
100%. Except for the AFC South.
I think the AFC South is settled week 17.
I think it's going to be a dog
I think we're going to duke it out all year.
That's going to be a dogfight with those 3 teams. I mean, I think the Colts, the Jags, and the Titans are going to go at it the whole time. I do agree. I think by, you said week 6 or 8, I think several of those teams are going to be pulling away from the pack. And I think I'm with you, man. I think, I think the Titans, the Broncos, the Jets are the cream of the cream of the AFC. I think there's several teams right below them. I think the Colts are in that conversation. I mean, and it all comes down to injuries and everything. But, to me, I think there's 2 or 3 divisions that have that, top echelon team. And I think there's going to be, that AFC South and the AFC West fighting for that second position. I think, to me, the South and the West may get that 2 teams in the playoffs. And I think that second slot in both of those divisions, it's going to be a dogfight the whole way through.
I think parallel. I mean, I think Al sneaks in. He's going to get him. Right. He's going to get himself in that playoff.
Sean's calling the Chargers to the playoffs right now.
The Chargers will get in the playoffs.
I like it. That's a ballsy call. But, I mean, again, I think the South and the West, they kind of mirror themselves. I mean, to me, you got the Broncos and the Titans, and then that second tier. I mean, the Chargers and the Raiders here, and you got the Jags and the Colts. I think that's a dog fight, and I think whoever comes out of that makes the playoffs. And I think that somebody as, a division leader in another division, you don't want to play that team that comes out of there. I mean, that's a team that's going to be blue-collar, battle-tested. It's going to give you everything they got. I mean, I think those – again, like, the Colts, you guys make a move. I mean, they're listing here hey, man, the Lions got defensive ends and linebackers. You make some moves there and you bolster those couple positions. And, who knows? I mean, it's like you could challenge the Titans there. I mean, I like the Titans a lot, but, a lot of the ranking that I gave, was based on the depth. And it's like with 2 safeties and 3 linebackers without any depth there. I mean, you get a guy going down or, even at bye weeks. I mean, you may not have a person to fill those positions. So, you bolster that and get some depth. I mean, you're right up there with them. I mean, to me. So, so that's kind of our AFC wrap up. Now I'm going to give Sean one last opportunity to talk some junk to his division rivals or even to his boy, like Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Anything else to say, Sean? I mean, okay. Johnny was fun last week, but my boy Sean, we have to have Sean on some of our shows here.
I mean, you gotta come and swing it, baby. I mean, this is fun. John's too quiet. Him and his fire sale. He can come talk in 5 years.
Restructuring.
His restructure ain't gonna do nothing for a while. So he's gonna be in the cellar Weller. I mean, he got a lot to work on.
Dweller, Johnny, you hear it, Johnny?
I mean, you look at the things. I mean, I want the Carolina Panthers to go 0-17. Mr. Ant, good luck, fella. But
Nice.
I mean, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play against Jeff in
Yep.
Tennessee. I'm excited to get Jacksonville. The new owner in Houston, man, it's about like restructuring in Atlanta. I mean, he's got a little work to do, but we're going to see what happens. I mean,
Yeah.
injuries are a part of this game as well as both of you know, and
Yep.
I hope that come a couple weeks down the road after the season starts. I do have two big announcements, though. The
Uh-oh.
Colts will be extending offers to Saquon Barkley to wrap up for at least 4 to 5 more years. And
All right.
Mr. Matthew Stafford will also be getting an extension in Indianapolis. Breaking news from
Breaking news.
boy Adam Schefter. But it will be happening in Indy. So those
Nice.
numbers will be out soon. Saquon is glad to stay in Indianapolis. He said he loves the number 18 that just went into the Hall of Fame, and he's pumped up. So,
He's ready to
I mean,
go.
the show has been a blast. Anytime you
Excellent.
guys want some arrows fired, fellas, I'm
Oh,
all
man.
in. This was great.
Oh man, so I tell you what, Sean. I mean, we're gonna do an NFC show in 2 weeks, and I believe we got our commish, the Raiders, on the show here in 2 weeks. So
That could be a good note because the Colts fired some shots.
that's
So
what I was about to say. You may
I've been looking to be underneath the
receiving
bunker on this one.
He may be sending some shots your way. Then we're gonna do a shot. No, we're gonna do a hold on one second.
NFC, we got NFC next
Actually,
week.
yeah. So I'm lying. Okay. So we're doing the NFC show next week where we're going to have the Cowboys on. So the
Yeah.
Cowboys, to me, again, just looking at it, cream of the crop for the NFC. So, we had, in my opinion, one of the top 5 teams in the AFC and, to talk the AFC. We're going to have one of the top 5 teams in the NFC talk about the NFC. We're going to have the commish on for our prediction show, which is 2 weeks later, where we're going to talk.
Oh, buddy.
Hey, here's where the playoffs are going to go. Here's going to be our MVP, our Rookie of the Year, our Defensive Player of the Year, all those awards. So we're going to have the commish on. That's
Defensive Player of the Year, baby. Patty Surtain.
there you go.
Put it in the book right now.
So we're going to have the commission there to do that, and we'll talk a little league update. That give the commish some time to talk about that, and then Sean, we're going weekly. Al, myself,
Love it.
weekly during the year to talk about the game. So, Sean, anytime you want to join in, you let us
I'm in.
We've loved having you. I mean, this is 3, and this is episode 3, and we're already. I mean, Sean's bringing the arrows to the some shots.
I was always raised go big or go home. So let's just let it rip.
Hey, he's let him rip. He's had some predictions. He said Patty Surtain, defensive rookie of the year. The Chargers.
And then the Jets better be issuing that olive branch all the way out.
So Sean has said Patty Surtain, defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Chargers are making the playoffs and is going over. And
I mean, if Ant goes over, I'm gonna be sending tissues because he got me crying bad.
That means he's got 2 losses to the restructured team.
Yeah, Johnny.
I mean, if the restructured team beats him, I want on that next show because it's gonna be flames.
So we've got a lot of arrows coming to you today. Boy, Sean from the Colts, myself and Al. This is episode 3. Sean, give us the last word. Close us out.
Thanks a lot, fellas. It's going to be a fun year, and I can't wait to get back on the show.
Boom. That's from
Hey,
Sean.
guys.
Holla.